high side. Murphy shooting, save a rebound on the view.
Hey everyone, this is Casey. You are watching the Red Rubber Duckwind All Sports Network, and let's just hope that the Steelers did not spend all of their available points last Sunday, as they will be hosting the Cleveland Browns in a rematch over the couple weeks in the making. The Steelers look to make it 4 wins in a row against the Browns in Pittsburgh. Meanwhile, the Browns have a chance for their first sweep of the Steelers since the 1988 season. This should be a wild one near the Three Rivers. Now let's see what each team has to offer. So this game looks to be another offensive showcase as Cleveland put on a show despite losing to the Denver Broncos on Monday night. Jameis Winston went back to his 30 for 30 days by throwing for 497 yards and 4 touchdowns, and he also threw 3 picks. The offensive line needs to give Jameis Winston some help as they gave up 3 sacks to Denver's top-rated pass rush. There was one who ran all over the Broncos on Monday, and that was the former Bronco, Jerry Jeudy. He had 9 catches for 235 yards as well as a 70-yard touchdown. Another weapon to contain is Elijah Moore, who also had a 100-yard game with 8 catches of his own for 111 yards. In the red zone, David Njoku was the prime target as he had 9 catches for 52 yards and 2 touchdowns. Also, there was a guy by the name of Michael Woods who had 3 catches for 43 yards, and while Nick Chubb didn't really get much on the ground since the leading rusher was Jerome Ford for 41 yards, he did have 2 catches for 24 yards, including 1 for a touchdown. Last week, I said the Steelers' offense needed to find ways to get points on the board, and they did. Despite throwing a pick 6 early last week, Russell Wilson provided a show throwing for 414 yards and 3 touchdowns, with those going to George Pickens, Calvin Austin, and Pat Freiermuth. The offensive line needs to play better in this edition after Wilson went down 3 times before the snow globe appeared up in Cleveland. Last week, they only gave up 2 sacks to the Bengals on almost 40 pass attempts, so they get a pass for that. But the Browns' D-line is way tougher. The guy who can't keep his mouth shut, also known as George Pickens, was able to fill up the stat sheet with 74 yards on 3 catches, including a touchdown. However, he has been getting into it with Greg Newsome again, so his performance on Sunday will be a big mystery box. Pat Freiermuth has also been noticed last week, but only for catches with 68 yards and a touchdown. The two-headed hydra of running back in Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren can also be used as receivers. Warren caught 4 out of 4 targets for 55 yards, and Harris caught 6 out of 6 targets for 54 yards. Najee also did great on the ground, racking up 75 yards and a touchdown compared to 41 yards in the snow globe up in Cleveland. The Steelers' defense was able to hold Winston to 219 yards in that Thursday night snow globe, but they look to lower that total at Acrisure Stadium with much less snow. However, they were having a difficult time containing Joe Burrow. He threw for 282 yards and 3 touchdowns, and they had their largest amount of points allowed so far this season at 38. But they were able to produce 3 turnovers off of Burrow, and they look to do the same against famous Jameis. They got 4 sacks off of Burrow, including 2 from TJ Watt in a bounce-back performance, and the Browns defense was able to get to Russell Wilson a lot the last time these two teams met. Even Myles Garrett, who after talking the talk, walked the walk. He picked up a sack trick in the snow and before the snow came down. However, in Denver on Monday, they were not able to get to Bo Nix. They did not get a single sack against the Broncos on Monday night. Not one. And the pass defense, they gave up 294 yards to Nix and a touchdown, but they were able to pick him off twice. The rushing defense gave up 106 yards rushing last Monday, with 84 of them coming from Jaleel McLaughlin. This game is once again a toss-up. Forget the records of both squads. These last 2 weeks have shown that you cannot assume anything in this sport. The Steelers look for a 4th straight win over the Browns in Pittsburgh, while the Browns look for their first season sweep of the Steelers since '88. This is going to go either way. Forget all the expert picks and the Steelers sweeping the picks. This is yet another Steelers trap game. I think the Steelers will get out of the trap this time by a score of 27-24, but regardless of the result, somebody should change all of George Pickett's social media passwords. Now, last season, I did a charity drive where I did 17 different charities in 14 different cities throughout the Steelers season because I wanted to highlight people that are doing great things everywhere. For both games against the Cleveland Browns, I wanted to pay tribute to the late voice of the Browns, Jim Donovan. If you don't remember, he passed away back on October 26 at the age of 68 after a battle with leukemia. As someone who has lived in Northeast Ohio all his life, you could not turn on the radio on a Sunday and not hear Jim Donovan's passion for sports and, most importantly, life through the airwaves. I wanted to dedicate both games and streams to Jim Donovan, as he is one of the reasons why I got into sports, despite him being the voice of a rival. For both Steelers-Browns games, I will provide a donation link to the University of Hospital's Simon Cancer Center in honor of Jim Donovan. Also, I will put a link to the American Red Cross as they continue with rescue efforts for Hurricanes Helene and Milton, and the links will be posted along with a charity for each team going forward. But that's going to do it for me. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to the Red Rubber Duckman All Sports Network. I will see you guys tomorrow for Steelers and Browns at 12:45 Eastern Time. That's when we'll go live. But until we meet again, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, and as always, let's go Steelers.